Hi, my students. Welcome. I am giving you an update on this WAMAP test preparation website that I told you how to get to yesterday. WAMAP is the new AccuPlacer. I talked to the woman who's the co-chair of the math department, and I think I told you this yesterday, but she was saying that they replaced the AccuPlacer with this WAMAP, which stands for Washington Math Achievement Placement, something like that. It's the placement test for math, and they like it better because the test questions are more specific. They're not as broad and sort of like multi-concepts rolled into one. They're more specific, and the test is designed to be fill in the blank rather than multiple guess, which I think is good. The website that I told you how to log into has huge amounts of test questions available to you. It is a great resource. I spent a lot of time last night fooling around on it, and I think it's really, really good, you guys, and I encourage you to quickly wrap up your keys to algebra if you haven't already. Forget about the AccuPlacer questions. We're not going to do that anymore. And please get on this WAMAP website and explore it. And there are hundreds of questions there for you to work on that I think are going to be a much more direct match for the actual test. And after this experience, I'm going to ask you, I think in the future, I may have students skip over a key to algebra and not do that, because I think there's so much content on this website that we can do a whole review there. The one thing this website is missing is some sort of a map that lets you see an overview of the whole thing. It's a series of outlines, and the menus keep getting more and more specific, but you can't see the whole thing at once. So what I did was I went through all the outlines and I made kind of like an overall sitemap so that you can see it. It takes up, 7 pages. So let me just show you one page so you can understand how it works. So the overall thing is the WAMAP placement review. These are called the subject level diagnostic tests. Okay, and then I'm taking all my language directly from their language. So if it sounds weird, blame them, not me. There are 3 topics. The first one is pre-algebra, and that I did in blue. The second topic is algebra, and I did that in red. There are 3 pages of algebra. And then the third level is college algebra, and I did that this is red, and the algebra is orange. It looks pretty similar on camera. Those correspond to the way the AccuPlacer was laid out. They called it arithmetic, elementary algebra, and college level math. These names are simpler. It's pre-algebra, algebra, college algebra, same idea. By and large, you guys, I've done a bunch of these test questions, just fooling around last night trying to figure it out. I got plenty of them wrong because I didn't understand either the formatting or the way they were asking the question. There are some little help videos embedded in the question, so if you get it wrong, you can, or before you even do the question, you can watch a little video. Super cool. The videos aren't bad. I mean, they're not as good as mine, but they're not bad. Very helpful. It tells you if you get it wrong. It gives you a chance to fix it. I don't really like math online, but I'm kind of impressed with this. I really had some fun doing it, and I think this is going to be a great tool for you. So what I'm going to do, I didn't finish telling you about this. So here's algebra, right? And then there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different topics within the algebra section. The first one is basic operations on integers. And then if you click into this, you'll find these subsets. This layer is where the actual questions are. And I've written over here in the margin, Q and then a number. That tells how many questions there are for that particular topic. So you have to click into several submenus in order to get to the actual questions. But there are hundreds of questions on this site for you to do. Again, I think this might be a better tool than the key to algebra thing because it's so more directly linked to the test. and it gives you a chance to practice online. So after you take the test and get a chance to process all of this, I'm going to ask you what you think of this site too. I definitely will want your opinion. So this allows you to see all of the pre-algebra topics at once and look at, I mean, just imagine adding up all those numbers. There's like 10 of every one, and sometimes they're up in the 20s. There's so many questions. So this allows you to keep track of the topics, what you have looked at, what you haven't looked at. And then it works the same way for algebra. The algebra topics, there are 6 of them, A, B, C, D, E, and F. And then within each of those main topics, there are subtopics. And look, some of the subtopics even have subtopics. So again, you have to click down to this level in order to get to the questions, but that's where you'll find the actual questions that you can do. All right, I want you to see this again so that you can see all the different areas and then keep track of where you've worked. And then here's the college level functions, quadratic equations, square root functions. The way that they divide up the topics across pre-algebra, algebra, and college algebra may not match to what you and I think they should be, but you have seen all of this material, all of this material. One of the things that Gabrielle, the chair of the department, pointed out is that if a student is hoping to test pretty high in their math, which you guys certainly can do, there is no place on this site to review trig information. So that, and I'm clarifying just to make sure that it does appear, those questions will appear in this test, but they don't have any review materials for trig functions, inverse trig functions, polar coordinates, you know, all of that fun trig stuff that we did this past year. There is not a place to review that. That doesn't really concern me because I think you guys can test into some really great classes without having to polish up that knowledge. It's also near the top of your brain. So I'm not too worried about that, but I'll let you know if there's any place where you can review that content. We'll talk a little bit more about your placement later, but this website as it stands is going to give you all the tools you need to test into some really great classes. And if I get any information that changes about that, I'll let you know if there's anything else that I think you should be studying. But right now, I think you should just convert all of the time you have available for the next week into playing on this WAMAP site. I will send you pictures of these pages, and then what I'm going to do is type them up, and I'm going to send you the documents so you can print multiple copies if you want to. It's a great place to like make checklists and circle where you want to go back and study some more. The website does track your results. So you can see, you know, oh, I got all these questions right, but I got these 5 wrong. I better go back and look at those. It has a bar that says, give me another question like this one. Give me a similar question. I've used that quite a few times. That's super helpful. It also helps you make sure there's a place where you input your what you think your answer should be. And sometimes that's tricky because typing mathematical expressions is sometimes a challenge. So it has a little function that says preview. And what that does is it gives you like the mathematically appropriate format for what you're trying to type in. So you can see if your answer is saying what you want it to say, and it gives you a chance to fix it there. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of doing math online. Oops, that's an understatement. I kind of hate doing math online. I think it's dumb, and I think it normally presents a lot of unnecessary challenges. But I'm not mad about this site. I'm not mad at all. I think it's pretty cool. I really want you to dive in as soon as possible and explore it as widely as you can, given the time that you have left. I'm going to stop talking now and send you over. Please be in touch with me about this. And let's have a conversation because I want to make sure it's new to you. It's new to me. It's fairly new to Edmonds, so let's make sure that we're all on the same page and understanding this. Okay, that's all I have to say now. Thank you, bye.